So today I am going to be reacting to a segment from Tracee Ellis Ross's conversation with Michelle Obama. All right. There is a lot to unpack here, especially around how we see ourselves and our choices in life, which is something that she did discuss on that podcast. So let's take a look at the clip.
Mostly, though, I think there's really good men out there. I think to a certain extent, I'm a very unique sort of unicorn of a woman. And so it's going to take a unique person. And in the meantime, I have really learned how to live my life and enjoy it and not sit around waiting. I was saying to someone recently that I'm one of the first generations of choice, and it's not anymore.
So Tracee acknowledges that there are good men out there, which is a good thing. It's actually great. But then she turns around and calls herself a unicorn. Okay. At first, I actually agreed with her. Yes, there are good men and stuff. But the moment that she mentioned that she's a unicorn, that is actually what caught my attention. Okay. And that's what made me to talk about this specific segment that a lot of YouTubers are not talking about. I couldn't even get to the rest of the interview. This is where I actually stopped, simply because someone had asked me in my comment section of one of my other videos to do a reaction. I really didn't want to, but when I started listening to the interview, I was like, whoa, let's even stop right here and talk about this whole unicorn talk, because there are a lot of the other things that she did say. So let me put it this way. Sometimes, we as human beings, we can exaggerate our uniqueness in this world, so much so that it becomes a barrier to connecting on a romantic level for a relationship. Why? Because it can create unrealistic expectations. Therefore, you end up finding yourself, without the choice of man that you actually want, or without the choice of relationship that you actually want. These are just one of the things that I'm like, we got to talk about this. Okay. Maybe, ladies, you need to, pipe it down and humble yourself. Because yes, I know we're all unicorns. A lot of people say, oh, I'm unicorn this, I'm unicorn that. But maybe you're possibly over exaggerating your uniqueness in this world. Let me point out a Bible passage. As I was listening to this interview and she talked about how she's a unique unicorn, something reminded me of this Bible passage, and I'm going to summarize. I'm not going to read the whole thing. If you want, to know where I got it from, it's actually Romans chapter 12, verse 3. And what does Romans talk about? It's actually reminding us to think of ourselves with sober judgment, okay? And not to think more highly of ourselves than we ought to. Yes, we're valuable, yes, we think we're, but so is everybody else. Everyone else is valuable. Everyone else thinks that they're a unicorn, and that they're this unique person walking on planet Earth. You're not the only one that thinks that about yourself. Other people are thinking the same thing too about their own selves. Another thing that she mentioned is the power of choice. Now, this is where I think I'm going to spend the rest of the video. The power of choice. She's right. Let me just put it that way. Women, now have the power to choose. Yeah, she is right. We do have choices as women, but wisdom reminds us to choose wisely, to choose humbly, and not to choose with pride in our minds. We have to be careful. Another thing that this power of choice gives us is, yes, we can choose whatsoever it is we desire. God, in fact, as a matter of fact, I believe that God gave every human being on planet Earth the power of choice. It's just that when women discovered, oh, I can choose now, then we're choosing a lot of different things, our judgment is clouded because now we have so many choices, right? And then because our judgment is clouded and we have so many choices, and we get, sidetracked and distracted and sometimes confused and frustrated because of all the choices we have now as it pertains to picking a man for a relationship. What ends up happening? We end up sometimes either choosing the wrong man for us or not choosing at all. So we have to be very, very careful as women what we do with our power of choice. Choice is a good thing. Choice is a blessing from God. That's how I believe. Okay. You're allowed to believe or perceive it however you want to believe it. But I believe that the power to choose is a blessing, but it can also be a curse if we let it. Okay. You have to understand that with the power of choice comes multiple choices, and with the power of multiple choices comes this idea of, I can choose at any time I want. My choices will be there. Let me give you an example. Women can go out here in the world and conquer the world, as they say, become boss chicks, boss queens, boss babes, boss whatever it is, get higher education, get the bag, and climb the ladder of success, which is wonderful. There's nothing negative about that. But in the back of their minds, they're saying, I'm going to do all these wonderful things in the world. And when I am ready, no matter what age I'm at, the type of man that I want will be there. Well, by now, ladies, you should know, just looking around the world, look at your outcomes and look at the outcomes of those other women out there who, are up in age, let's just say over the age of 40, and don't have the type of man that they wanted. Some of you believe that the biological clock is not a real thing for women. Okay, keep believing that. Keep telling yourself those lies. We don't have a biological clock in every aspect of our lives, but you see, when it comes to reproduction, we do have a biological clock. You have to be careful on that. When it comes to our beauty and our chronological age, we do have a biological clock. If you don't agree, that's fine. You don't have to agree. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't agree with that, then why are women so into makeup to hide this, to hide that? Why are women so into all these anti-aging products? If we're not getting fillers, if we're not, doing Botox, if we're not getting rid of frown lines or smile lines, if we're not, reconstructing our bodies surgically to do this, that, and the third to look younger, hello, it's the power of choice, right? Well, the problem is that choice can be a blessing or it can be a curse. You are the driver as a woman. You are the driver of your choice. The Bible is calling you to choose wisely and choose humbly, and be careful not to be prideful when you are choosing. If your ego is so conflated, then you're gonna believe, oh, I'm this one unique person, no other one like me. I'm this unicorn out here flying and soaring high, and whenever I want to, I can be in my 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then I can get a man. That is true to some degree about this much. Okay. Yes, there are women who are pairing up with the type of man that they want at an older age. And when I say an older age, I'm talking about after the age of 40. And yes, there are women giving birth to children after the age of 40. The question is, do you want to be that woman? Do you want to risk it? Do you want to risk it in a world where men in general value youth and beauty? Do you want to risk it? Yes, are there some men that, like, oh yeah, youth and beauty makes sense, but I'll take this older woman. Why would you want to risk it and put yourself in that category of what if? You see what I'm saying? Why would you want to put yourself in that category? Don't you want to give yourself the greatest potential out there? Wouldn't you want to? And if the answer is yes, do your leveling up and you're getting into a relationship at the same time, simultaneously, ladies. That is what I would advise you to do. You would never hear me on my channel advising women to wait till they're past 40. No. Should you rush into, now come on, ladies. You know that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you rushing into a relationship. I'm talking about use wisdom, divine wisdom from up above. And if you don't even know what that looks like, ask. You are created by God up above. Ask for guidance, ask for instructions, ask for wisdom to make the right choices. And God, who is abundant and God who loves us all, will definitely guide you as you choose. Because what? God is one that gave us choice. So choose wisely. Don't think you have all this time, because no, you don't. As a woman, as a biological woman, you don't have all this time that you think you have. Didn't Tracee say in that same interview that she does grieve? Do you know what it is to grieve something you've desired but you never had, you never got, you never secured for yourself in the midst of power to choose? Right? And I know there's some women out here who say, oh, she could get any man. Yeah. What do her outcomes say? Her outcome says she cannot get just any man. No. Because if it is true that Tracee Ellis Ross could get any man, she would have had a man of her choosing by now. So there are some lies that we've been telling ourselves as women that we just need to stop telling ourselves those type of lies. Because your outcome is the greatest truth teller. Your outcomes will tell the truth. Your results will reveal the truth. And the truth is, no, you cannot just, have any man. If you could, you would have. Okay? So ladies, what do you think about this commentary that I've done, this breakdown? Because I know that this is not the typical one you've been seeing out there in these YouTube streets. Is it confidence or is it pride when we call ourselves unicorn? Where is the balance? Where do we draw the line? Let's talk about it, ladies, in the comment section. Be sure to like this video, share it with other women, and also subscribe if you haven't. Okay? And I will see you all in the video for tomorrow. Bye.